You do need high levels of nitric oxide in order to get a hard and stiff erection. But one thing you don't have to do is you don't have to take a supplement. We've got some great ways that you can naturally boost nitric oxide that doesn't require you taking a supplement. I have my favorite nitric oxide boosting supplement, if you do choose to take one, pinned in the comments below. So let's go. Hey, I'm Dr. Rachael Ross, physician and sexologist, and this week is Hard Week, just like every week. My personal mission is to help over 1 million men get hard again, naturally. So if you want in, start by calculating your erection age at eage.me, because your driver's license says one thing, but your erection age might tell a whole nother story, all right? This unsung mineral hero, most people think really magnesium is for muscle cramps or sleep. But if you're a gentleman or a man looking for better blood flow and stronger erections, magnesium might be your nitric oxide MVP, because this mighty mineral really doesn't just support over 300 body processes. It actually plays a direct role in keeping nitric oxide flowing, your blood vessels relaxed, and your erections firm. So let's go into how it works. Now, magnesium supercharges nitric oxide, like boing! Magnesium is actually a cofactor. It's needed in order for the enzyme to work. So if there's no magnesium, there's no action. There's no nitric oxide, no erection. It's that simple. So if you're depleted in your magnesium stores, you'll have trouble making nitric oxide. In fact, a 2016 clinical trial found that magnesium supplementation, people who took magnesium, increased their serum nitric oxide levels in healthy men. Another thing it does is it calms overactive vessels. It's another one that prevents calcium from flooding into the blood vessel cells. And you got to ask, why is this important? Because when calcium builds up in the arteries, those arteries get stiff and they cannot relax to accommodate more blood flow. We need them to relax, and we need nitric oxide. Magnesium helps decrease inflammation and oxidative stress, thereby protecting your nitric oxide and making it last longer. In fact, men with low magnesium levels have been shown to have a higher risk of ED, particularly if they also have metabolic issues like hypertension, high blood pressure, blood sugar, diabetes. One study even found that magnesium deficiency was associated with poor blood vessel relaxation. What that means is the blood vessels couldn't even open up. So bottom line, if your magnesium levels are low, and they often are if you're over the age of 40, you're probably leaving blood flow and nitric oxide potential on the table, and your erection may be paying the price. The good news is it's easy to fix that. You can supplement with magnesium. Magnesium glycinate is fantastic. Eat magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds, spinach, dark chocolate. All of these things can help get things flowing again. Now, keep in mind, too, my smoothie recipe book, every recipe is packed full of magnesium, okay? Next up, we got omega-3s. Now, omega-3 fatty acids, think of it as lube for the arteries. It boosts nitric oxide production naturally. You've probably heard that omega-3s are good for your heart, good for your brain, and maybe even good for your joints. But here's what you may not realize is that omega-3 fatty acids can directly increase nitric oxide production. Boom! And that makes them essential for strong, healthy erections. Okay? Now, omega-3s supercharge the lining of the blood vessels, right? They help make endothelial cells, which are those cells on the lining, healthier. And those endothelial cells is where the nitric oxide is made. Omega-3 fatty acids improve the flexibility of the cells, the health of the cells, allowing them to pump out more nitric oxide when you need it most. A 2014 study in the Journal of Nutrition found that omega-3 supplementation actually enhanced the blood vessels' ability to open up and expand and dilate. And this is a nitric oxide dependent process. And they found that it was especially useful in older adults. Now, another thing, omega-3s helped that enzyme, that eNOS enzyme. It helped boost nitric oxide levels and improves blood flow. Now, the two main omega-3s that you get from fish have been shown to increase the expression of eNOS and increase nitric oxide release in humans. So just like NRF2 activation, Omega-3s reduce oxidative stress in your blood vessels, and they help keep nitric oxide around longer so it can keep your arteries open and your erection strong. And it helps decrease chronic inflammation because chronic inflammation makes those arteries stiff and they don't work as well. Omega-3 fatty acids protect your nitric oxide producing machinery from damage. Now, your body can't make omega-3 fatty acids on its own, and you've got to eat them or you've got to supplement them. So if you're vegan, this becomes an issue because you need these. Wild caught fatty fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, anchovies, algae oil. Right? You can get algae oil. It's a plant-based source of DHA and EPA. You can try flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds. They're not as potent, but they're still helpful. And then, of course, there are some high-quality fish oil supplements. It's tough, though, because sometimes those supplements go bad and the oil is rancid. So do not use expired fish oil. So the bottom line here is that if your blood vessels are stiff and your nitric oxide is low, your erection is going to suffer. Omega-3s, think of them as kind of like lube for your arteries, keeping them relaxed, keeping them flexible, keeping them ready to respond. And as a bonus, they're also great for your heart, brain, and testosterone level. Next up, friction. We are talking about nitric oxide boosting. And so because sometimes you got to shake things up. And when you move around, your blood flows faster and it creates friction, shearing stress on your blood vessels. Now, the cool thing about it is this friction tells those cells to make more nitric oxide. When you exercise, whether you're walking, lifting, jumping, your heart pumps harder and faster. And what happens is this creates faster blood flow, more blood flow, which puts gentle pressure on the lining of your blood vessels, your endothelium, and that friction is called shearing stress. And it tells your body, hey, we need more nitric oxide. Open things up here. And your blood vessels respond by producing more eNOS, which is the enzyme that makes nitric oxide. And as you know by now, more nitric oxide equals wider blood vessels, better blood flow, stronger erections, in fact, stronger everything. Clinical studies confirm that regular aerobic exercise increases nitric oxide. And it improves endothelial cell function. The lining of the blood vessel becomes healthier in men with and without erectile dysfunction. So exercise keeps it moving, everybody. It keeps your blood vessels young and responsive. And shearing stress not only boosts nitric oxide, it strengthens the blood vessel's ability to respond quickly and to be more flexible. That's especially important as we age because older arteries get stiff. Exercise keeps them supple, youthful, and erection ready. Exercise actually helps reverse erectile dysfunction, or ED, at the root. Unlike pills that force blood in temporarily, exercise actually improves the health of the whole vascular system. That means the health of the arteries going to the heart, to the erection, to the brain. And you really want to address the real cause of ED, which is poor endothelial cell function, low nitric oxide levels, and necrosis. One meta-analysis of men with ED found that just 40 minutes of moderate aerobic exercise a few times a week significantly improved erectile performance. So you're literally training your arteries to work better. So just give it a try. 30 to 40 minutes of brisk walking, lifting, cycling. Let's give you a bonus, a secret weapon. BH4, the longer name tetrabiopterin. See, your body makes nitric oxide using eNOS, but here's the twist. In order to do so, the eNOS must be working properly. And it only works properly when it's coupled or connected with a molecule called BH4. And without enough BH4, the enzyme malfunctions, and instead of creating nitric oxide, it creates chaos called superoxide, which does the exact opposite of nitric oxide, and it actually damages your arteries. So you're like, well, damn, doc, what's the fix? Support your BH4. You could support your BH4 with 5-MTHF. You support it with folate, not folic acid. Clinical research shows that folate enhances nitric oxide production in people with endothelial cell dysfunction, with damaged blood vessels. Vitamin C. Also, this antioxidant helps re-energize BH4. You'll get more nitric oxide and less vascular damage. It also protects that enzyme that we need to make nitric oxide. dark chocolate, cocoa flavonols. They've been shown to stimulate BH4 too, and to keep that enzyme eNOS working. And it improves blood flow and nitric oxide production in both young and aging adults. Now, these are the next level nitric oxide hacks that people have never heard of. And the bottom line is not just about producing nitric oxide, it's about making sure your body makes it the right way, uses it the right way so that it's not damaging. And BH4 keeps that nitric oxide engine running and clean. And without it, the body's main nitric oxide enzyme actually gets hijacked. So if you really want to level up your blood flow, think beyond the basics and support the enzyme with folate, antioxidants, and smart nutrition. So there you have it. And here on my channel, every week is Hard Week, so it's time to take action. Head to eage.me, calculate your erection age, and then come back and witness yourself age in reverse. You can age while your erection actually gets younger and younger. And that's what we learn here, because here with me, we age in reverse. So don't forget to hit subscribe, drop your age in the comments below. I'm Dr. Rachel. I love you, and boom, I'm out.